I've got some apples. There's more. It's 11 o'clock. I've got so much to pick up still, and lots more apples in here. But here we go. This was truly a labor of love. It took quite a while. I decided to just keep the peelings on because all of the nutrition is in the peeling, so I had to make sure they were squeaky clean. We never spray our fruit trees whatsoever, so they are technically organic, but they were still dirty from just the dirt flying around, I guess. Because yeah, and then I had to. There were some bug holes and stuff like that, so I cut those off. Those sections I didn't keep those on, but yeah, this took quite a while, but thankfully it's done. Whew. Oh, that took a while, but well worth it. And then here I'm actually taking the fruit tree leaves and putting it in our pig slop. So we'll feed that to the pigs. That is from the new Biblio Diet book. It talks all about how fruit tree leaves are antimicrobial and antiparasitic. And in the Bible, I wish I could remember what part it is, but it's describing some fruit trees that are along a river, and it specifically says the leaves are for healing. So they've done a lot of studies on it and discovered that the leaves of fruit trees are very healing. There's this guy, Jordan Rubin. He actually is the founder of Garden of Life supplements. I'm sure you've seen them before, Amazon, Walmart, wherever. But he is the one who is so passionate about this fruit tree leaves. And I heard him on the Culture Apothecary podcast, and it really inspired me to want to give our livestock the fruit tree leaves, and even ourselves. I think turns them into tea, but I have not done that yet. But yeah, I've definitely given it to the pigs and to the cows. So if you have fruit trees, pick off some leaves. Now is the perfect time to do it because they're going to be falling anyway, and give them to your livestock. Like I said, they're antiparasitic, antimicrobial, so they definitely are just going to benefit them. And then I also wanted to say, I have had this on my heart, or on my mind when creating this video, that it's truly amazing to grow fruit trees, to grow fruit, just right in our backyard. And it's amazing, and I feel like it's like a new world thing for everyone to landscape their house with plants and trees that, there's so many benefits to trees, but fruit trees and nut trees, they can provide you and your family with food, and you don't need much room. I feel like it's such a thing that if you live on a homestead, you have fruit trees, but really, if you live in town, you can have a fruit tree. Just try to have two for budding purposes, and truly, I don't understand why it's not the norm for people to plant fruit trees at their house, in their backyard, in their front yard, in their landscaping. It really is so functional, which I'm all about functionality. So hope this encourages you to go plant a fruit tree. I think it is the best to plant them in the spring, so you have to wait. But yeah, it is only going to benefit you and your family. There is a little bit of maintenance learning curve to them when it comes to pruning. There are these little branches called suckers that grow off the main trunk, and they make it just doesn't produce as much because the nutrients coming from the soil goes to the suckers instead of just focusing on the main portion. So you do have to trim those up in the winter when the tree is dormant. But besides that, they are pretty low maintenance. They're great for pollinators and great for your family. So I hope this encourages you to go plant some fruit trees in your front or backyard, even if you don't live on a homestead. And then when you have those fruit trees, I hope you make some applesauce, because with them being so fresh, they do go bad kind of quickly. So my apples did last year, so that's why I am just turning them all into applesauce. because I tried putting them in the refrigerator, see if they'd keep a little bit longer, but they went bad. So that's why I am doing the applesauce thing here. And I actually am putting no sugar. I put maple syrup. I don't know if you saw that back there. And some Baja Gold high quality salt for some trace minerals. Always throwing that in for the extra benefits. So yeah, maple syrup, and then I did squeeze like a half of a lemon in there just to keep fresh. Oh, here, I'm doing it right now. But yeah, so simple. Oh, I apologize. And I did throw in some cinnamon, so that's also going in there. And I am using an immersion blender in there to really grind it all up. And then for canning, I just used a hot bath method, the easiest method you could possibly use. You just need a huge pot. You don't need a canner or pressure canner. So here I am just putting the hot applesauce in jars. The rims and lids are at room temperature. You just want to make sure to clean the rim as you put those on. And the water that you fill the big pot with is hot water. And you want the water to be at least an inch higher than your jars. Then you want to have a rolling boil in the pot. So put your stovetop on high, and you'll keep those in there for 20 minutes. Then after they have boiled for 20 minutes, then you turn the heat off and you let them sit in the hot water for 10 minutes. It prevents the siphoning. Don't want any of that. So after you get them out, you will want them to cool on your countertop for 12 to 24 hours. I hope you enjoy the applesauce. Hi, my name is Kelsey, and I live on a small farm with my husband and 3 young children. We are first generation farmers, homesteaders, and I love to share motivational videos about non-toxic cleaning, baking with sourdough, homeschooling, and homemaking. So if you're into these things, please be sure to like and subscribe.